Hello, Melina. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Oh, my goodness. I think I got everything ready in time today. Although being efficient today may not be the big thing. I know it's a big break, but I'm only going to do one today. We're going to take our time to try to formulate the taste thing, because this one is going to be a true experiment. Thank you. And that means the bot's up and running. Good. It may also throw 3 minutes worth of ads out since I just started. Just forewarning. I'm doing all right. It's the the diet is working. Everything's going the way it should be, but it's very tiring. I had forgotten how much stress it puts on you, and how much energy you're burning versus how much you're putting in. And since the putting in is very low and the output is very high, it's going to make you tired. But I'm doing just fine, I think. And Theo, hello, welcome in, welcome in. As I said, though, I've been trying to get things, not just clean stuff up, but actually go a little further and do repairs and clean things that needed to be cleaned for a while. We're getting a little further ahead. We're getting a lot of trash taken care of, stuff that I've needed to get rid of for 10 years, that kind of thing. And I got Beat Saber working again, so we might have another Beat Saber stream soon. I was standing up working on that one the other day until one of my toes cramped up. So we'll be getting going here in a few minutes. I'm going to give it a little extra time on the way in today. Uh, give everybody a chance to come in. Like I said, we're only doing one recipe today. I'm just sort of gathering things up here as we go. Thyme, rosemary, basil, parsley, oregano, marjoram, lavender. Yeah, it's close enough. We'll use that. This year, as I said before, I'm going to be taking a couple of small vacations that were not originally planned, but were kind of forced into it. Basically, what's happened, as I mentioned before, is that is that back in April, late April, early May, my company told us that we weren't going to be allowed to sell our vacation time anymore. And I know for a lot of people that sounds like, why would you do that in the first place kind of thing. But that was my source of income for paying for my insurance for the whole year, for my car and my house. So they also did a bunch of miscalculation, and they increased the amount of time that we were receiving. And eventually we got them to admit to policy was not calculated correctly, and that we would be receiving 140 hours next year for those of us that have been there long enough. Previously it was 120. So as a result, that means that I had to use 140 hours. Not a whole lot, Jen. I'm just explaining the whole vacation thing. So, you're stuffed? Where'd you go? I know you were downtown, but where'd you go? Vacation, what's that exactly? I've never had to actually figure out time before, because in excess of 25 years, I have never done it. So planning for it is a difficult thing. Anyway, so what they've done is they've done that. And on the spur of the moment, they also said that we had to notify any vacation time that we use 6 weeks in advance, which is another month and a half. So I had to, at the last second, in the middle of June, figure out how to plan vacation. So what I ended up doing was I figured out what days we had holidays on, and I extended those weeks out and basically forced it so that I was out a lot more consistently than they'd expected. Well, end result, I'm going to be out the week of Thanksgiving, so there will not be a Thanksgiving stream the week before this year. And I'm also going to be out at Christmas, and I won't have a PC with me where I'm going. So there will not be a Christmas cooking stream either. And I know those are like the two big days, right? Downtown, the old post office, food hall. Okay. Cool. Got some pictures later I'd like to see. So end result is that I'm going to be missing the two big cooking holidays. I know. I've done a couple of them in the past already. So a lot of the traditional stuff that you would like to see or do is already there in the Discord. Anybody's welcome to use it if they want to. You just got to poke around and look for it. I'm thinking now, we originally set that Discord up to do that kind of thing, make it a database. But I'm also seeing that their search functions are kind of crappy. And the last couple of updates that they've done have made them worse, not better. So it's more difficult to find things. So I'm trying to consider what else can I do. Now I've got video. I've started work on uploading videos now. I've got randomly several years worth of cooking videos stored, and a lot of them have been uploaded to YouTube recently. The YouTube channel does have them on there. They do have some recent ones, and they have a lot of really old ones. Now I'm going to try to work on that and get those uploaded as soon as I can. I won't be able to take them with me, and they're way too big to transport, so I won't be able to do that during the vacation time. But there is some consideration for doing a website, but I'm not really very good at that. And I don't have the pictures and things to do for the display. So we'll see about it. All right. So here we are today. We're going to be doing one recipe. This is not a recipe that I have written down. This is one that I am going to make up as we're going along. And not really as we're going along. I've been thinking about it all week. But I am going to be making adjustments and changes as we go. So for today, we're going to be making kind of a Greek baked dish. This is going to involve 2 or 3 different recipes that I'm combining into one. My main concern is that as I'm only really eating one time a day, I'm not getting enough of the various different vitamins and things that I need to stay alive properly. So we're going to make this one a little bit more fruitful and a little bit more diverse. So let's get started, I guess. We also suddenly seem to have gone from very, very hot to get cold pretty quick. So our venue in here has changed a little bit. Now we'll start off with what little bit I've already gathered here. Hey Esther, hello, welcome in. So starting off at the beginning here, again, I am going to take my time with this one today because we have to think about it as we go. So I've got some cherry tomatoes here. I wanted to get those, I forget what they were called, but I believe it was a Capelli tomatoes, which were those larger ones that were about yay big. But we'll use these. These are fine. This will work just fine. I got a couple of heads of garlic here, and I'm not sure how much we're going to use. We're going to kind of make a little bit of a marinade here for our chicken, and it's going to sit in the chicken for a little. Chicken's going to sit in it for a little while, but it's not really going to penetrate too well. But we're going to see what we can do to accelerate it a little bit. We've got a red onion. We're going to put this in with our baking part of this. We've got a fresh lemon. We've got some black sliced olives. These have gone from 88 cents a can to $2. So this was a bit of a shock. We're going to start measuring out our things here as we go too. I'm going to use about a teaspoon here of paprika. This is going to be for seasoning up our chicken. I'm going to go get that in a minute. But I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of this. We may need a little more. We'll see. Again, we are doing construction here. Now, I wanted to use rosemary and thyme and oregano and a few other things. And I was looking at it, and I'm just like, this jar of Herbe de Provence contains 90% of what I was looking for. So I'm just going to use it. We're probably going to use about 2 teaspoons of this. We want it to be pretty well seasoned. Now for our salt, use about a half teaspoon. And for pepper, I'm actually going to use white pepper for this one, so that it doesn't, so that the appearance is a little better. It's not going to change the flavor any. Let's see. I know I got it up here. That's on. Oh, there it is. I've still got a pretty good amount of this, so we'll use it. No problem. So this is white pepper, white peppercorn. Has other terms for you? Okay. Boy, that was a consequence. I took a big old whiff of that pepper to make sure that that's what it was, and it wasn't the powdered mango. Okay, next up. We've got a, I'm going to use the whiteboard today. The reason I'm using the whiteboard is because I'm primarily going to be cutting chicken with this. So I'm just going to use the poly. How you doing, Esther? Welcome in. So we got ourselves a big old can of crumbled feta. This has also gotten superiorly expensive, and I don't know why. It's gone from $2 to $4 to almost $6 now, but I managed to find this one for $4. Dead? Yeah. 1 or 2 of my family members were known for getting well seasoned. Oh, gotcha. I was wondering which definition you were going to go with. We got ourselves a pretty decent looking red bell pepper here. I almost want to get a little bit seasoned myself today. Probably won't, but you know. Dead. I've been real low today too, real low energy. We got ourselves a zucchini here. I have 2. I don't know if I'm going to use the second. And of course, we can't go without putting in some carrots, right? Weak. Huh? No, red bell pepper. Those are sweet. No hot stuff. We're not going to overdo it today. This is going to be Greek flavor, not super spicy. Of course, I have a very heavy pack of chicken here. I'm not going to put up here just yet. And we got spinach. I got a lot of spinach. We got a big old box of spinach. And I'm not sure why I bought this one, other than the fact that it was $3 less than the small one. I don't know why. But there we go. So we got that. Now, I'm obviously not going to use that much spinach. And one thing I am probably going to do later is I'm going to go get a little bit of kale after the stream today, and we'll make some maple dressing and do that superfood salad, and I'll just put that with this. And then when I post it, I'll post that too. We've done that one here before. Of course, we got what should only be $6 worth of chicken is 15 almost. So we're getting there. All right, I'm going to grab a picture of this. Got a couple of these little flies running around. I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, I left my phone in the other room. Hold on just a second. I would say there's something else happened this week, which was kind of interesting. As it started getting cold, I'm not really turning on the house heater. I had found that I had forgotten. I had bought a super discounted guinea pigs. You would know they would like one. Oh yeah, I had found a super discounted brand, a particular store brand that they've been using for making tools and things. And I found this one heater that I had gotten. Originally, it was about $35, and they had marked it all the way down to like 11. So I bought it at 11, and then just put it in the cabinet. Didn't take it out of the box or anything. I pulled it out yesterday just to see what kind of control it had and what kind of heat it had and everything else. Turns out that thing's better than anything I've got in the house. I paid $11 for it, and it's a cheap brand. So I don't know. I'm probably going to be using it a lot more. So we are going to go with this. I'm going to put this in the picture. It will be posted on Discord. I am starting to work on the Discord stuff. I am starting to work on those right now. I was working on them a little while ago. I didn't make a post yet, but I was working on the layout formats. So we'll be doing that. Now, we'll do the chicken last, but let's go ahead and start getting the rest of this prepped up. There's another one of those little things. Go away. So let's start getting all this prepped up. Some bowls here. I am just going to go ahead and use the whiteboard for all of this. We'll do the chicken last. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our carrots. We're just going to straight up peel these off. Hey, Godob, welcome in. How are you today? How is our master brewer? Found some decently large carrots that we can make some good chop with this today. I think we're gonna go with making these into small cubes or just small fork-sized pieces. Where's my big knife? Doing all right. Just crashing a bit from walking around. For ingredients, yeah, it's getting that way, isn't it? I'm doing just fine, thank you. Okay, so the small bits can go first. For those just coming in, we are absolutely doing an experiment today. I'm only doing one recipe. It is not one that I've looked up or gotten from anywhere. It's one that we're working on based on experience, time in the kitchen, and nutritional needs. That's a good bit of carrot right there. I might already have enough, but I'm going to go ahead and cut up the other one. I know this board doesn't have the same impact sound that the good bamboo one does it? Did I give it a name? Not yet. It's basically just going to be it's a Greek bake. Greek inspired bake. There may be something similar, but after, thousands of years of development, I'm sure that somebody else has probably already made something almost identical. Nice little bite-sized bits. So there's our carrots. Now let's go ahead and wash up our tomatoes. We're going to just cut these in half. Suck up those plastics. So I am going to split these down the center, but not through the stem. So horizontally. These are a little firm, so they should take a little while to bake. It can be cooked quickly with enough gas. That is, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think about how we want to proceed with this because we don't want to dry the chicken out when we're baking it, because we are gonna try to put some color on that chicken before we put it in. So I think we're going to have to pan fry some of these vegetables before we put them into the bake. The bake's going to be kind of a finisher and less of a starter. We got a lot of tomatoes. That was just a little pint. I think I'm going to end up with too much food even though I'm only doing one. I did try to hold the budgetary requirements, even with all these prices. This was about $40, so I'm a little under. Not too bad. All right, our zucchini. I am going to strip the zucchini skin. So we'll do that. Okay, this one's not very tough, so this one will probably cook a little faster. Probably means it's a little older, but that's okay. I'll do the same thing I did with the other one. Zucchini generally takes a little while to cook. So making it a little smaller will make it easier. This is fairly soft. This one's pretty ripe. And throw a cookbook. I could probably go to that local cookbook here if you want me to. That sucker was kind of psychotic. They just took recipes from everywhere and they did not care who they got. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them because that show was on for about 30, 35 years. It started in the early 70s, I believe, or late 60s, and kept on going. Might want to consider donating a little bit to public TV. Their funding's been cut. All right, there is a little bit of damage on this one, but I couldn't find anything much better than that. Hey, Bum, welcome in. Thank you for the shout out. You have to pay for the popcorn and the tickets. I haven't been to a movie theater since like 2015, and the worst part is that I got 2 gift cards right there in my office for $20 each to go to the movies, and I haven't even bothered to try and use them. This pepper feels fairly soft too. It's not very crunchy, so this may not take too long to cook. Oh, look at that. We almost got it perfect on the first pass. All you can eat popcorn. All right, let me remove the damage section. Doesn't look like it was much more than superficial. We'll rinse it out. For those that didn't know, the paprika here is just dried version of this. And we're going to cut these into kind of not into little strips and tiny bites. This one's going to be a little bit bigger. We're going to go for some kind of chunks, squares really. Cut out the last little bit of the rib here. Oh, hey, Brew. Welcome in. How you doing today? So we're going to look for pieces that are about 1 inch by 1 inch, roughly. 25 centimeters for those of you out there. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I don't know what was going on today, but I slept for about 12 hours. For anybody that knows me, that's about double my usual, if not triple. Probably due to the lack of food. All right, there we go. Let's get the next one. Woke up at 7. I got up the first time at like 9:30, and then for some reason it became 11:45, and I completely missed all of my meds this morning. It's not a big stressful day, so it probably isn't going to hurt anything. All right, so there's our bell peppers. Now, we're going to need garlic for 2 different things. So we're going to go ahead and get the onion, and I'm going to prep up some some lemon slices as well. And then we'll drain out our olives. Get a little one for that. Go ahead and do that. Now, I do need to do some yard work. I never finished the stuff that I was doing before. Well, at least it's full. Better be for $2. These olives are a little sweet. I expect this recipe to be a little sweet, a little sour, and very garlicky and buttery. Carbonization. Huh? Oh, you're not this much film. Wish what with Disney need to remake things. Live action seems to be bankrupt themselves. Yeah, film scene has been pretty dire with box office bombs. I haven't really seen a whole lot recently that has really been worth it. You're probably right on that one. All right, so there's our next one. Now, our lemon. I am going to watch this pretty thoroughly, so give me just a second. I must have missed something there. one of my side note, I got the highest score I have ever got on the little Fitbit thingy yesterday. I broke almost 15,000 steps in one day without ever moving. Yeah, I was playing Beat Saber with it on. I forgot to take it off. It did, however, measure my heart rate and get the calorie count right, so I guess that's okay. Now with this, I keep saying onion. Why am I saying onion? With this lemon here, we're just going to make some very thin slices, full slices, and pop any seeds that are in there out. I don't know what kind of onion, what kind of lemon this is, but okay, there we go. Full of seeds. I assume onions have. God, why do I keep saying that? I assume lemons have varieties to them. Yeah, Beat Saber. Onions. Brew knows what's up. And that can still be a threat, too. I could do one of those recipes. But I would really prefer not to because it's just a waste. The rest of this appears to be very, very thick skin. So there we go. We've got several really good lemon slices. This will be fine. True lemon varieties. I know about Myers. Mandarin oranges. Yeah, these appear to be those. They, however, are very clean and they have a good smell to them today. No weird blotches or blemishes. We are going to cover the top of it with this. All right, next up is our onion, as Brew pointed out. And we are going to use red onion for this one. Trying to keep in with the tradition of the Greek flavor and usage. Oh, this is a very pretty one. Hopefully the flavor is really good too. Seems the skin went an extra layer deep, so I'm going to peel that off too. We can't really use this whole onion. Isn't that a nice one? That is a very nice color. Around here they call them salad onions. Which is, you know, true. When I started doing these cooking shows, this was my old dishware. This stuff was super common when I was very young, and now it's become like my cooking stuff. All right, we're going to peel off a little bit more. Try to get out of that core bit so we get a nice color here. I'm going to leave them as mostly solid rings for this one. Use about half of it. This being a completely experimental thing today, we got to think about what we're doing. All right, that ought to do it. We're going to take out those pesky core bits, these little tiny bits of the rings in the center, because those are going to be a lot sharper flavored. We don't want those. I am going to break these up as we go. Toss that. These are going to go directly into the bake, so they may not get completely done, as you would say, but we don't want them to be. We want them to have a little bit, retain a little bit of their firmness, a little bit of their crunch. Not much, but a little bit. Mandarin oranges? Yeah, I like mandarin oranges too. I also really like blood oranges when they're the really good ones. I call it the Foo food store here. Had some a while back. Those suckers were so blood orangey that they were purple. I don't know where they got them from, but I've never seen them again. The flavor was so great. I really wish I could get more of them. All right, there is the primary bit. The spinach we will deal with later. The spinach actually is not going to go in immediately. We're going to cook our chicken. We're probably going to cook the onions a little bit. And we're going to cook the zucchini and the bell peppers together for a little bit, get them about half finished. Then we'll mix it all together into the baking dish and put that into the oven. Because I think that these will end up being too hard and these will not be quite done. So we're going to try and fry them a little bit. I didn't get our pepper done yet. Let me get that. I'm following it, but I'm thinking it's about a teaspoon for this too. That's going to be for the chicken. Remember, the white pepper is for the bake. I don't know why I just did that. I was just thinking about that. That'll go in the chicken marinade. I don't know why I did that, y'all. That's such a habit. All right, next up is going to be our, I guess our chicken marinade is going to be up because we're going to do the chicken last no matter what. So our marinade can't have ginger in it, so we're going to have to chop up the garlic today. I'm going to start off with about half a cup of, or a quarter cup to a half a cup of olive oil. Okay. Just trying to figure out where all of my different oils are hiding. Got about 8 or 9 of them. This was the oil that went with me to the con a couple weeks ago. As you can see, it goes pretty quick around here. We're going to go with a quarter cup right now. A little bit less. I'm also going to add about half a stick of butter to that. For that one, I'm going to do a slight no-no. I'm going to put it in the microwave and melt it. Do not put butter in the microwave and put it at full power. Do not do that. It will pop, it will spurt, it'll explode, and it'll burn very quickly. You need to put it in at around 40% for like 30-40 seconds. That way it won't mess it up, it'll just melt it. If I can get the paper to come off. This is sweet cream unsalted butter. I only buy unsalted butter primarily, mainly because, you know, salt. If I were doing baking on a more regular basis, I'd probably have one of each. At the moment, I have 4 boxes of this, and I don't know why. I guess I bought it thinking I needed it, and I didn't need it. So a little bit less than a half a stick. And we're going to warm that up slowly. Impulse buying and FOMO. Exactly. But normally when it's something that's like 50 cents or $1, $1.50, you're not thinking about it too much. But even butter's kind of expensive now. So that's kind of a, you got to do it kind of thing. So I'm going to try about 45 seconds at half power. And we will go ahead and pop in the black pepper that I wasn't supposed to use. And, well, let's put in some of the white pepper too. And the salt. It's all right if some of the herbs get in there. It's not going to hurt anything. This looks extremely colorful already, doesn't it? So half a stick of butter at 45 seconds. You can see at 50% power, it almost melted it out, and it did it without popping it or burning it. So that's the strength you ought to use. I'm going to do it just a little bit longer. And there we go. So 1 minute at 50% power on a 900 watt microwave does a great job. So we're about 50-50 sweet cream butter, olive oil, and a little bit of our herbs and spices, and pepper. Now we need to put some garlic in here, so this is where we get to start doing the real work, right? I am sorry that for the last couple of months I've been pretty slow about getting the stuff to Discord. It's just that it's a big time consuming thing for me to do that, and I don't have a lot of help. So I have to do all my other chores and things first. And when I have time, I do it. Oh, this garlic is a whole bunch of little cloves. That's going to be painful, but that's fine. Well, I feel like I've let y'all down sometimes, but I don't get things done like I should. And this month is kind of a rough one for me. It isn't about the vacation time and things, it's just that my birthday's coming up soon. It's kind of a big one. I want to be able to do like a lot of my fellow streamers do, and they have like big, sub marathons and things like that for their birthday. The thing is that just takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. Good Lord, you're taking 24 hours of streaming. I run out of that kind of energy pretty quick. And it just feels like I'm doing a lackluster job sometimes. That is not promising. I was hoping this garlic was a little bit less of that. Oh boy. That is a lot of little ones. We're going to use all of that. Mainly because a lot of it's going to end up in the can over here. So I'm going to cut off the tips first. We're just going to do that before we start messing with it. I did at least remember to start adding in the little reminders on screen at least. I don't even bother with that sometimes. And it isn't that I'm lazy, it's just that I forget. It's not quite as super important to me. Because at least at the moment, I can pay all my bills. I don't have that problem. There's definitely 2 or 3 in there. I would go back to doing what I was doing before and using the elephant garlic. These little ones are, anywhere from 50 cents to $2 for 3 of them. The elephant garlic is now $4 a head. I can't keep my promise to y'all if I buy stuff like that. All right, so there's that. So now we're gonna smash and peel. Release those garlic juices. Get sticky with it. Oh, I got that one. was another little one hidden in there. One shot out of the side of it. Oh well, I guess we just lost a little one. Ernest! Hello, welcome in, Raiders. How are you doing today? I know you were playing Silksong because I was there. Were you able to beat it, or were you up to that point yet? I don't know. I've been in there, but I haven't really been tracking the whole game. Oh gosh, I just annihilated that one. Thank you, Dio. And then I played a tactical roguelike, something like Darkest Dungeon. Oh, okay. And you did finish it. Oh, that's cool. I was there for that one ink-like boss that you were working on. I had to go after that, though. We're experimenting today. Oh, that was the final. Oh, okay. We're in the middle of smashing up this sad garlic. As you can see, we've got quite the list of flavors here today for this one recipe. I haven't done a complicated one like this in a while, and this one is not one that I've pulled from anywhere. This is one that I'm doing on my own. I do these fairly often, but not every day, not every week. Hey, Serenova! I'm cooking so hard. Hey, nice little Steve. How you doing? Welcome in. Okay, so this is almost a whole head of garlic here. There's a joke in that somewhere. Now we're gonna cut about. We're gonna take all these little bits over here, and all these big bits over here. We're gonna take the little bits and we're gonna chop them up and into kind of a very fine chop. We're gonna take the bigger ones and we're gonna slice those into a little bit bigger chunks. We're gonna do two different versions of that in this one today. So we're gonna take our butter and pepper mix here with a little bit of herb in it, and we are going to put in this garlic, and then we're going to chop up our chicken last and just kind of soak it in that for a few minutes. We can't really do a whole lot, but we're going to soak it in there for a few minutes, kind of let it penetrate for a little bit, and then we're going to cook that chicken. Now, one thing I am going to advise doing, we're already using lemon slices in this when we bake it. I would also suggest adding, and I hadn't thought about this until just now, but I would suggest adding at least about a tablespoon of lemon juice to this. I'm just going to use the rest of this bottle here because it's almost empty. That lemon juice will help it penetrate better. And it's not going to change the flavor any, obviously, because we're already using lemon. This will be a nice, garlicky, fresh, lemon, light flavored one. A little more true to the real Greek flavor that you like, that you really like. If you've eaten a lot of Greek food, you know what I'm talking about. You get that light, happy flavor. I really like that light, happy flavor. It kind of makes me feel good. I'm going to try to chop this up fairly fine. That looks pretty good. That is a couple of tablespoons there at least, so we're just going to drop that right in there. So this is now our marinade. I have done this kind of marinade like this before. See, it's getting kind of that creamy appearance to it with the butter in it. It's a little thicker, so it'll stick better. I think we're about ready for the chicken. Well, we'll go ahead and slice these up. For those that don't know me, that might have been in Ernos' stream, I am only a part-time chef on the weekends. I do enjoy cooking enough to be able to do it for folks and parties, and I'd like other people to learn too. We're kind of like on a mission. It's not really a mission, but we're kind of on a mission here to kind of help people out, maybe get them started. You know, really kind of learn a little. Boy, I smashed this stuff too well. It's not ending up in slices. It's ending up in ground up chunks. During the week, I do some gaming streams here and there. I'm mostly an RTS strategy player, which is kind of old school. But on the weekends, I like doing this. And this is more of a meal prep thing for me, because I make these dishes and then I store them, either some in the freezer or some in the refrigerator, but I end up storing them for the week. And we're going to actually sprinkle this on top of the whole thing and just kind of let it bake into it when we're working on it. I guess we don't need that other head. Which is fine because it can sit until next week. I bought a little bit extra of this and that, not too much. Don't buy too much, especially now. Now, as for the spinach, I haven't mentioned anything about what we're doing with the spinach just yet. The spinach is not going to go in until the bake is almost done. The spinach will wilt down very, very quickly. It only takes about a minute or two. And we don't want to destroy it. We don't want to burn it and scorch it. So we're going to put it in only when the dish is really more or less truly done. So we're going to do the rest of it first. Now I believe that is all of our veggies and our lemons and everything. That's all of it. Yep, that's all of it. I'm just checking my fridge because my fridge is mostly pretty empty. I've gotten it cleaned out. I've gotten rid of all the old stuff. I want to pull the drawers out and clean it. I haven't done that in quite a while. So now, still some oil in that cup. Now, we'll move on to the next part. And the next part of this is going to be getting our chicken ready. So we're going to have to get a big bowl for that. I tried to buy the chicken in bulk this time, so I have about 4 pounds, assuming that the package is accurate. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 large breasts in there, so that probably is accurate. I know some stores have been cheating, so be careful. Now, the things that we're going to cook a little bit before we put them into the baking dish are going to be our carrots, our zucchini, and our bell peppers and onions. I'm going to set those over by the stove until we get ready for those to make a little more room. The tomatoes, our black olives, our lemons, and this garlic over here are all going to go in after we get the baking ready. So this is going to go into the baking dish. So we'll pull those off. And of course, our spices are all going to go into, some of it's going to go into the chicken here, but a lot of it is sprinkled on top afterwards. Like this is going to be sprinkled on top afterwards. Actually, this is going to be right now. So we'll do that when we make the bake. And this is, of course, our feta, and it's going to be baking. Adorable. What? What am I doing? Lemon, olive oil, oregano, garlic, and feta. These are like the base of most. Exactly. The difference is I'm cheating just a hair on that one, Ernest. I'm using the. No, I don't. No, Godot. That would be very wasteful on my part because it would end up in the trash. No, Ernest, I cheated just a little bit because I looked at the ingredients of what is in this mix of your favorite generalized herb mix here, and 90% of it is exactly what I needed. So I'm just adding a little bit of marjoram and some lavender flowers beyond what is in it normally, and I'm using this herbe de Provence for this one. So it's got everything I need. Why would I go through all that extra trouble of measuring all the other things out and trying to balance it? Don't need to. All right, chicken. I'm going to get our chicken knife here. You notice I pulled everything away. I want to make sure I don't contaminate anything. It is. It is. Yes, it is. It's got thyme, rosemary, basil, parsley, oregano, marjoram, and lavender. The marjoram and the lavender are the extra two that I don't normally put in Greek stuff, but it isn't going to really change very much. It's still a very nice flavor. The rest of it is usual. Oh, you never noticed this one? This is the one I usually use for our meat. This is my chef's knife. It wasn't horribly expensive. It wasn't really, it wasn't a $600 knife. Parsley, rosemary, and Lowry seasoning salt. Boy, that's an old one. I've heard that one. I haven't heard that one in a long time. So our chicken breasts aren't huge, but they aren't small either, so this is good. Rinsing off that salt slime stuff that they put in it. The one thing I'm going to do that's a little different, which I should have done before now, because I got to wash my hands. is I'm going to take a fork. I'm going to kind of penetrate the chicken. We're just going to shove it on down in there. And this is to kind of help those lemon juice and our seasonings and things that we put in our marinade to get in there a little faster. Because we are literally going to start cooking this chicken as soon as we get in there. So I'm going to kind of back cut it a little bit, make the pieces a little bit bigger looking. I really don't know how much we're going to use for this today. My goal here is about 5 days worth of servings. I'm only eating once a day, so I have to make sure that this is the correct amount. And there's one layer of chicken. These are moderately small, so whoa, hold on there. I wasn't expecting that. It's turning into gravy. I think I put too much lemon juice in it. Well, that's all right. That makes it a nice thick marinade. We're just going to kind of coat that in there. I was not expecting that. I didn't think it would do that. It's probably the butter. The butter's cooling off and it's thickening up. Well, there you go. The perfect way to do it. You want it to be a nice thick marinade, just add about a half a stick of butter to it. That'll do it. All right. Rest of the skin off. We're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to kind of give it a good hammering here. These thinner pieces I'm going to cut a little thicker. We are gonna mostly cook the chicken first. I say mostly because it's not going to be cooked completely, I don't think. I'm being nice and generous with this. I think what we'll do to try and save some time, or try and give it a little bit more time to penetrate, is going to be to go ahead and cook our veggies first and then cook the chicken last. And since I was kind of pushed into buying this larger package of chicken, It looks like I'm going to be able to freeze some of it, so it's not going to entirely be the whole cost today. So that's not so bad. $40 for this is not real bad. I know a lot of my friends out there are not able to live very comfortably and that they have to struggle with things. And that is one reason that I've tried doing this from the beginning, is to try and keep this inexpensive but still keep it nutritious so that people can stay healthy. I myself have lost 22 pounds in the last 4 weeks or so, and I am going to keep going with it as much as I can. Whew. Yeah, exactly. Not starving to death. I know that there's a lot of people that don't have enough budget to even get past ramen, but you know what? I'll figure out a way to make the ramen better for you too. I'm trying. Anything that I've ever commissioned anybody for that's actually gone through with the commission and not taken my money and run will know that in the end, I always give a little bit extra and everything else. I absolutely am trying to help everybody when I can. But I have to be careful with my budget too. I think we're going to need 4 pieces of this chicken based on its size, which means we're going to have about around half of the package left. So that is pretty good. We can freeze. We can vacuum seal that here while it's baking. Ramen mostly works based on its lack of nutrition. Yeah, I know. Dissolves so slow that you manage to not feel hungry for a long time, and it's loaded with calories for a low price. Congrats on first gen. You pretty much were, so it's okay. And that's why I do things like, try to add like rotisserie chicken to it, and then frozen peas and carrots that were flash frozen. Other things like that, so that you can get some nutritional value out of it and not spend a ton. But I know when people are a lot younger, they can eat stuff like that. And while it does have consequences, it doesn't have long-term, as long as they can get out of it. But eventually they can't, and it will start having an effect. So I'm trying to avoid that. All right, there we go. We got enough to do one more comfortably, so we will do one more. I think if I remember right, chicken itself has the highest protein content, lowest fat content compared to the other general ones for the cost. So that helps. People always talk about certain things that they like to use for protein content. Some of them, unfortunately, are not very good, like peanut butter. Peanut butter is really not that good for you. It's full of sugar and calories and fat, and it doesn't have that much protein. I'm practically shredding this chicken. Got gotten so bad the consequences have come before the meals. Yeah. And I'm about a decade ahead of you, so I know I don't sound it right. For real, fam. Oh, Ursa, hello, welcome. Oh, you didn't buy something else, did you? You've already spent enough. Thank you. I'll take a look. I'll take a look here in a little bit. Thank you so much. How are you doing today, Ursa? Welcome in. This chicken is definitely going to take us a little while to cook. I thought maybe today it was only going to be an hour to an hour and a half, but with all of our good discussion going on and us taking time to actually do this right, it's definitely going to be a lot longer than I thought. And I don't have a problem with that because this time has been dedicated for this. Oh, this honestly is going to be, I think this is going to be pretty beautiful, to be honest. This is going to taste so good. All right, there we go. Oh, for those that were wondering, remote working but slow day. Oh, okay, I see. For those that were wondering, this particular knife, it is a Damascus knife. I have not had to sharpen it in the year and a half that I've used it. Besides hurting it more, it opens it up so that our marinade can penetrate into it a little deeper. We don't have a lot of time. I can't let it sit for 4 and 5 hours. I can only let it sit for as long as it takes to finish cooking our veggies. So half an hour at most. So poking it in there like that is allowing our lemon juice and garlic butter mix here to just penetrate right on in. It's an old trick that my parents used to use. I don't really know how valid it is, but I'd say it's fairly valid. I mean, it's just physics. All right, so there we go. We've got our garlic, we've got our butter, we've got our olive oil. It made a very nice marinade here. And we've got it all nice and spread in there and it's soaking in. So there is that. Now, anyway, what I was going to say, I'm sorry, I get distracted. Relieve your anger. Let the juice go into the meat, infuse it. Yeah, exactly. That actually is the old way to tenderize it. A lot of people just use the hammers, but I wanted to actually get in there. You know, this knife was not but like $40. This was not a $300 knife. So you can have a good one without having to spend a lot of money. It was $40 or $45. Right now it might be $50 or $60, but still that's a lot better than $600. Because I know a lot of those Premier knives are $600, $700. None of my knives are that much. Most of them, all of them, they were individually purchased, but they were also only $25 to $30 a piece at most. I have a tenderizer hammer, but it makes a damn mess, which is why I'm not fond of using it. Exactly. You don't have to. You can do what I just did. Just do the old fork poke. All right. I'm going to switch over to the stove here, and we're going to get started over here. We'll see if I can improve your view just a little bit. There we go. Do the old pork poke. Yeah, exactly. I'm still a firm. All right. This is the first time seeing it. Ever thought of it? Just stabbing chicken. Yeah, it'll work. It will work. It works just fine. When I was growing up, one of the phrases that everybody liked to use was whenever you're trying to solve a problem, remember to KISS it. And KISS meant keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to go make everything complicated. You don't need to. Use what you got at hand. All right, so we're gonna start here. We're gonna put this on about 6.5, and I'm gonna use light olive oil for this. And probably a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, I guess. We're going to cook the thing that takes the longest first and then add the other items in as we go to try and kind of keep the time balanced. Okay, now we're getting a little far in there. I agree with you, but oh my goodness. Don't go any further than that, please. Whew. Might need a drink tonight after that. All right, so far this has been pretty simple. Now it's a matter of just a little bit of knowledge, and having cooked a lot of things in the past, I've got a little bit here. I can tell you that our hard skinned peppers here and our onions will take the longest to break down, but as I said, onions in this case are not supposed to be broken down. We're not going to caramelize them. So we need to worry about our zucchini and our peppers first. The peppers we do want to break down because we want that flavor to kind of infuse with the rest of it as part of the sauce. And the zucchini, they generally take a little while to cook, so we're going to do those first. We're going to put them in there. We're going to sprinkle them with our white pepper and maybe salt a little bit, and we're going to go from there. Then we're going to do our peppers and our carrots. We're going to soften those up a little bit, pull them all off. Then our chicken. We're going to try and grill that chicken down. We don't want to cook it completely because we're going to bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes. And while we're doing that, we'll make up a couple of yogurt bowls. You have to stab the pen with a fork to tenderize the heat. What? Stab the heat with a pan to tenderize the fork. All right, come on, man. Now, I still have about 4 chicken breasts left. If you do have the ability to do a vacuum seal, and I've got one of those, what's the name on it? I have one of the official Food Saver vacuum bag sealers. I generally tend to put about a half a pound to a pound of chicken or beef or whatever in one bag and seal it. And that way, when I'm doing a recipe, I won't have too much if I pull it out of the freezer. Doing that vacuum sealing will save you a lot of money in the long run because it will last more than 4 or 5 months. If you put them in Ziploc bags and then try and zip them up, it's going to get freezer burned in about 4 to 5 months. You put them in these vacuum seal bags and you can probably get even a year to a year and a half, if not a little longer sometimes, depending on what it is. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're cooking for yourself and you want your quality to be there and you want to keep your costs down, spending that extra little bit up front, probably worth it. All right. Our oil has gotten quite thin, so I think we're about ready to go. There's our zucchini. We'll make sure it's nice and coated. I'm going to bring the heat up a little bit. We're going to bring it up to about a 7 on the electric stove. This particular meal today also is going to be very low mess count, to be honest. Yeah, we got about a half a dishwasher's worth of load to do, but even with the baked dish, you can just cover it and put it in the fridge and use it as you go. There we go. It's starting to fry a little faster. I'm going to go ahead and put a little salt and a little white pepper on it. Oh, we got to hydrate. Okay. Well, that's the end of the energy drink. Thank you. I tried to do a lot of anticipating this year before all the cost concerns and things started coming up. I'm glad I did, because a lot of the things that I got have really gone up. There we go. You can see they're starting to get a little brown here and there. Now it's probably about the time to start adding in our peppers. And probably go ahead, well, let that sit for a minute. Not too long, but just a minute or so. This has been a pretty chill stream today. I kind of like it. With so many of them, it's just rush, rush, rush. I'm starting to smell that pepper smell, the where they're starting to cook a little bit. That is such a nice smell. It really is. I had originally planned to use our ancient 1980 13 by 13 baking dish, but I think we're going to have to use the big one today. After having used so many other types, I really, really like the old Corningware. It's so much better. I've got that Spice of Life series that I'm using as well. I managed to rescue them from Mom's house before they sold it. Some of those pans are worth a lot of money, and I don't care. I'm going to use them. What's the point of having nice baking ware if you can't use it? starting to soften up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add in our carrots. And I'm going to toss the onions in too. Isn't that looking nice? I know a couple of people would be happy just to get that mix. I got to be careful when I'm tossing it that I don't toss it like it's the wok. It isn't tall enough for that. Hey, come back here. Stay in there. Now we only have another minute or two here, to be honest. We're just trying to get them softened up just a little bit, not too much. Because when we throw them in the oven, we don't want to overdo this. We don't want to overdo it. Now I'm going to grab a big bowl and we're going to put all that in here and start working on our chicken. The chicken's going to be a lot of work here. We're going to be moving and shaking. Again, this is all experimental today, so we're just kind of keeping an eye on it. The chicken's coming. Don't worry, Melina. We're going to cook that in batches, and we're going to keep them quick. I'm going to go ahead and prep our baking dish too. Toss a little bit more salt. A A little bit more of our pepper. Just kind of let it cook in there. It takes some practice, but doing that kind of a flip is not too hard. Don't be afraid. Give it a try. As long as you've got a pan with a decent lip on it, you can do it pretty easily. It's just down and tip the nose up. Down and tip the nose up. Down and tip the nose up. Oh, it smells so good. All right, I'm going to stop here with this one. It's still a little firm without being too cooked. You can see that the onions are starting to turn light purple, and some of our zucchini start to stick a little. That's about where you want to stop. Remember, the times that they give you on recipes are just based on their own experience and how they did it. It may not necessarily be the time that you need. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. And I'm going to grab a spoon. I'm going to kind of mix this chicken up a little bit, make sure it gets nice and keeps its coating. We're going to keep an eye on this. This we got to keep an eye on. Oh my God, that smells so good. As you can see, it's immediately starting to melt. That little bit of butter that was in there, it's just melting right into it. And boy, does it smell good. Oh my gosh. There was that instant aroma of just light lemon and garlic smell just popped right up. Remember, we cut this very thin, so it's only going to take a minute or two. Don't do too much at once because you gotta watch it. You see that? It's already turning brown. It's already browning up. And it's only been like a minute. Those pieces may not necessarily be done, but they are done enough to bake. Once both sides have got a little bit of browning on them, or they at least turn white, they're done enough. Because we're going to put this in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Might have to bring the heat up just a little bit. We want to kind of flash scorch it just a little. Not scorch, but cook. Look at that. Our marinade is turning into sauce rapidly. We're going to save every bit of that for this bake. We're going to let it marinate in that in the bottom of the pan. A baking dish. All right, I think we're there. That chicken's practically done. There's our second part of the chicken. Don't overcrowd your pan. This ought to be plenty. If they're only taking 2 or 3 minutes to cook, it's okay. Hey Al, welcome in. Marinate in the bottom of the pan. They've been marinating for about 30 or 40 minutes now. But this butter, oil, garlic, and lemon juice mix is just, it thickened up and became the nicest sauce. Welcome in, Al. We are totally experimenting right now. Fair sounds, fair sounds. A lot of leftover bits of stuff, and now you're acting as some sort of alchemical food meister. Something like that. There we go, perfect. We just want a little bit of brown on it. These nice little thin slices will cook very quickly. It may look like I'm just poking at it, but what I'm doing is checking for firmness. If it's getting a little bit on the firm side, then that means it's cooking most of the way through. Remember, we're still putting this in the oven, so we need to make sure we don't cook it completely, or else it'll dry out. Which leads you to have to do things like, cover the dish when you're putting it in the oven, that kind of thing. This honestly was a beautiful marinade. I'll have to remember. What is that pan made out of? That is an aluminum copper-clad pan. That was one of our experiments earlier this year, or last year, whether or not we could find a sub $20 frying pan that was large enough to do the job. This one's been pretty good. It's lasted longer than I expected, and it hasn't worked yet. While there are cases where I can afford to get a bit more expensive pan, I tend to not do it. I'm going to pull out our garlic now from the first batch here. We don't want to scorch it all the way. We're going to keep that. Now we're going to add in our next batch of chicken. We got one more after this one, I think. Oh, that smell again. Yeah, Al, this is, I mixed about a 50-50 mix of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, melted, very melted, sweet cream butter, a little bit of salt, a little bit of white pepper, a little bit of black pepper, and a little bit of herbs here and there got in there. And we used that as a marinade for our chicken. We cooked our chicken very thoroughly with a fork, and we soaked it in there, and now we're cooking our chicken for this. We're going to be making a baking dish here in a few minutes. Hey, boo-boo, welcome in. Oh, shoot, I forgot the thing I had in my head earlier. Shoot. Hold on a second. When I was searching through my music list the other day, I was wondering why Freddie Mercury was a lot of Queen's music wasn't listed as metal, heavy metal, because after all, doesn't every song have a lot of mercury in it? Sorry, that's the only one I can remember right now. We really only need to cook this chicken for about a minute on each side from the looks of it. I cut it about 1/4 inch thick. Somewhere between 1/4 and 3/8, if I weren't home already. The big thing is how this bake is going to look. We're doing all the surface treatment right now. We got to do the deep baking here shortly. All right, I think that's done. I'm going to do the same thing as before. We're going to try and keep all of our cooked marinade in with it. Our little bit of butter and oil. Not a lot, but there's a little bit. And then our last batch of chicken is going. So our 4 chicken breasts made about 3 cans worth of chicken. This smells so good. Oh my God. Oh, this mix. I am going to try to remember right after this stream to write down the exact mix that I used for this so that I can give it to you all. This smell is so good. Now, I say it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes to bake this, but it may not, and it may take a little longer. We're going to see. Again, I got no recipe today. We are going on experience here. I really wish I could explain how good this smells. I almost think that this is like a rated R explanation. All right, I'm going to start heating the oven up a little bit. I'll pull the grill pan out first. I originally was going to use the grill pan today, but I was thinking about it. These chicken strips are so thin that they'd probably stick to it, and it would end up being a cleaning nightmare. And it really wouldn't add anything, so I think the frying pan's a better idea. I think we're done here. I'm going to pull that out along with all this little butter and juices. There's a little bit stuck in the bottom, so we're going to do our usual little thing here. I've got these little Boda boxes. We're going to use them. We're just going to let that little bit of wine cook in there. Burn right off. See that? Burns right off. It's nice and smooth again. All right. We also need to pull this plate off. Remember, there's a vent on your oven. All right, we're going to come back here and we're going to start assembling this. All right, I'm going to bring our temperature up to about 350 to 375. We're going to let that warm up while we're building this. I'm going to move the camera off the stove because I don't want it to get cooked. All right, so here we are. We've got our mostly cooked chicken and our partially cooked veggies. I'm going to dump all of that right in there. Where's my... Oh, there it is. So there is our lemon and garlic and white pepper marinade chicken, which is about 75 to 80% cooked. Some of it's probably 100, but we don't want it to dry out, so we didn't want to do it all the way. We're going to get it nice and spread out. We've still got a lot of our juices left from the cook. There we go. Now, next part is our veggies here and our tomatoes. We're going to put our tomatoes down first because these need to cook. We're going to get them nestled in here. We'll spread them out just a little bit here. All right. Then we're going to add in our black olives. And yes, I'm going to use the whole can. Now you can skip the olives if you don't like them, or you can use a different version of the olives if you like. You know, you can use Kalamata olives as well. They're a little more sour, a little more bitter. These are a little more sweet. These being fully ripe olives. Now we're going to take our sliced garlic and put it in here. Yeah, I know that this isn't going to be fully cooked. Not the garlic, anyway. It might be. We'll see. I don't know whether 20 minutes is enough or not. But we're going to bake it in there. This is the raw garlic now. Now, we're going to add our veggies. Welcome back, Theo. Looks like it was about the perfect amount. Look at that. And we'll just spread it out a little bit. Now I realize that the carrots may not be entirely traditional for everything, but again, as I said, I'm trying to get a little bit more balance on nutrition on this one. We'll add a little bit of salt, not much, just a little. Now I'll add our little bit of remaining white pepper. My gosh, the amount of dirty dishes for this one's going to be really minimal. Put in, oh wait, before I do that, If it isn't the bear. You just now catching up there, Ernos? I'm going to put part of our cheese on here now. This is our feta, and I am going to use the whole package here. Not all at once, but feta isn't really a melty cheese, but it will melt a little bit. All right, now we got to go out with our spices here. I really don't want to pinch and do this, but I'm going to do it. This is paprika. And it looks like a teaspoon was enough to cover most of it, so that's good. And these are our herbs. And I was just thinking about it. We forgot one, which is not in that herb roll. We need it. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. This is dill. Very good. I made feta cheese before. It was, oh. Huh. Now we will add our lemons, and we're going to let the lemons cook down into it. We haven't got a ton of them, but we have enough. There we go. Now I still have about a little less than half, about more like a quarter of our cheese left. I think honestly I'm just going to go ahead and toss it in there. Now our spinach is going to go on last. We're going to let this bake for about 20 minutes at 350. So this will finish our chicken, and it will soften up our vegetables a little more, and it will allow for our lemons to go down into it and soak in. This is absolutely an experiment, people. Just so you know, we are absolutely experimenting. I have no recipe. I am doing this all on my own. I honestly think, from the smell of it and from everything else that I know, that is going to be beautiful. Now we wait a little bit, but I'm also going to do a little bit in between. I always have these nasty hunger cravings at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The only time I'm really eating is lunch, but I am kind of sneaking some stuff at 3 o'clock sometimes. All by myself. All by myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of this and that to try and avoid some of that. This is a Greek non-fat yogurt. It is vanilla, I believe. Yeah. And a lot of times the only reason I don't eat the things that I'm supposed to, it's mainly because it just wasn't ready and I didn't have time to mess with it. So we're going to fix that problem today. These little bowls that they have with the screw-on lids, these are Rubbermaid ones. They're pretty good for things like this. And it seems that all I have are these ones. What the heck? Well, we'll use the deep ones. I don't know why they disappeared. Oh, let's set a timer. Our oven is up to temperature. It pretty much was when I put everything in. Now at 20 minutes, 19 now, we're going to pull that out and check it. And if it looks like it's withered down just a little bit so that it's kind of baked in, that's fine. We will add in a layer of our spinach, a very thick layer of spinach, and we'll put it back in and let that bake down a little bit. But for right now, we don't have a whole lot, do we? Normally I'd start a second dish right now, but I'm only eating really once a day now, and the snack in the afternoon. So we kind of balance it a little bit. This yogurt's not as thick as the stuff I normally get. It's kind of thin. Some of you here know what I've been going through, so I won't say too much. But eating 500 calories a day is very stressful. And it's very hard to do at work. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I probably won't buy this again. This is the first time I've used this brand. This is the store brand for a different store that I don't normally go to. The stuff I usually get is so thick that it's like Jell-O. I tasted a little bit of it just a second ago. It's not that great. Oh, that's fine. Sometimes you get a bad one. 23 grams per serving. I'm not sure about what the store brand is that I normally get, but this isn't the only thing. We're baking today. All these vegetables and things are to improve the not just caloric content, but the vitamin content and the body requirements for those. But I'm also working on work on fiber and other things too, because if you don't have that, you're going to have a whole messed up system. So one thing I do, I've already got 4 of these, but I'm going to make a 5th one, but I'm going to do it so that you all can see it. These are the fiber things that I do. It's chia seed and sealed up granola. So if you add a little bit of this to the yogurt, the chia seeds will soak up the moisture and they start puffing up. Got about 14 minutes left now. I know today isn't going to be the same as our usual, but we're doing it. It's made more for bodybuilders. Ah, yeah, there we go. I used to do that, but I'm a little older now, so these are chia seeds. I've shown you all these before. These have an extremely high fiber content without the calories. I mean, I'm not even putting in the serving requirement for this. But you do this, and you're going to end up with, well, let's just say you're going to be pretty regular. This adds a little bit more, and it does add some sugar, but a spoon of your granola content is not too bad. And you know, if you're different from me and you like eating breakfast, this is always a decent way to do that. So that would do it right there. I ran 4 of these because I ran out of yogurt a couple weeks ago, if I'm being honest. Yeah, anybody that wants to join Discord, you're welcome to do so. All you need to do is click the link below the stream, and you're welcome. Let us know you're there. We do manual verification instead of using bots, just to try and prevent people from sneaking bots in. So just let us know you're there. We'll give you a roll. And bring you right in. Okay. I guess if y'all want to see it, we can do the vacuum seal part now. I've been buying these third-party, I think they're Chinese, but it's Chinese anyway, vacuum seal bags. It's really just a roll. So we seal off one end of it, and then we fill it with the chicken, and then we vacuum seal it. And I can do that here. Now, yeah, I know that 20 minutes is going to be the total cooking time, but, you know, we're only adding about a minute or so putting that spinach on there. This is the food saver that I've been using. It does a pretty good job. Again, vacuum seal is good for freezing, very good for freezing. Now we got 4 chicken breasts, so I'm going to make 2 bags. doesn't quite fit in there because this is a third-party roll right here. So I've got to kind of make it fit for a little while. Here's our first one. This is the heat sealing bar right here. There you go. Puts that line right across it, seals it up nicely. Now our chicken. Get it nice and tight. Set it down into that little tray right there. And we set it to moist food and vacuum seal. Doesn't need magenta ink. You know how to hit all the sore spots, don't you? I haven't even set up that printer that I received from somebody at work. So there we go. It's completely sealed and it's vacuumed up. So now we can put this in the freezer and freeze it, and it won't get that ice all over it. It won't get freezer burned. This will save you a lot of time and energy. Yeah, you may have to buy, 3 or 4 pounds a couple of times, but then after that, you're going to do 5-6 recipes using the stuff out of your freezer like I've been doing, and it'll save you a ton of money. I mean, just as an example, recently I've done a couple of recipes that had bacon in them, and I cut them in half. These two right here were little bags that I made for the bacon. We used 1 package of bacon, and then I put half of it in the freezer. Then I used another package of bacon, I put half of it in the freezer. Now we've got 2 packs of bacon in the freezer to use for later ones. This is a great way to do this, and you can see right now, one of these has been in here for about 4 months, and there's no degradation whatsoever. So it's a really good way to do this. All right, we got 2 more to go. We've got about 5 minutes left on the bake. This has been a really good, efficient run right here, I gotta tell you. If I were eating more, we would have a second recipe going. But this is one of those pick and choose your battle kind of things too when it comes to these, because these bags are not super cheap. Even though I got this huge roll, this is about, it was originally about that big. So, about twice the size. even though I've used about half of this one roll, I got 2 of them in the box and it was about $18. It's not too expensive to do this, but it's also not the super cheap thing that you think it is. I mean, this roll wasn't designed for this machine. You can see that it doesn't fit. It will fit, but only after I use about 3/4 of it. But saving the money for this is, vitally important compared to the costs today. I really don't want any of you out there to be starving and eating garbage. There's no excuse for that today. And despite what our government is doing to us, we're gonna persevere and we're gonna beat them. Okay. I've pressed it down. I've tried to get it in here as tight as I can. So we're going to drop this in. Sometimes they don't fold quite right, so you got to be careful. Again, moist and vacuum. We got about 2 minutes left on the bake. Yeah, if I were going through it a little more frequently, I'd agree with you. I don't go through it quite that fast because I try to vary my recipes a little bit, but that one's nice and well sealed up too. It may not be perfect, but it's close. And as long as it's well sealed and you can store it in the freezer efficiently, this is good. We've got essentially now, because of that, we got today's recipe and we've probably got about 2 more. So, $15 divided by 3, it's about $5 a meal. And really, I'm not saying $5 a meal, I'm saying $5 a week. I'm not loading everything up and eating a whole lot, This dish is going to last 5 days. It's not just a little bit. Send me the cops if I don't support the garbage they call food. I'm joking, or am I? Yeah, you're not wrong, Melina. That's the thing. Yeah, for you, that's probably fine. I know that you're doing a lot of bodybuilding. You're a lot younger than me, and you're eating a lot more because of the bodybuilding and everything else. I absolutely understand that. And for you, that's probably absolutely appropriate. For me, I'm trying to think ahead and plan and do what I can to make sure that I have enough to be able to do these shows and be able to eat properly during the week. Okay. We're down to about 15 seconds. That was pretty good time. And our onions have started drying up a little bit. Or, I'm sorry. God damn it. Why did I say that again? All right, I'm going to take our washed, prepped spinach here. We're just going to kind of toss it on top, make it nice and thick. I am literally just putting it right on top. I am not kidding. Hey Daisuke, welcome in. And we're gonna take this and we're literally gonna just put it back in the oven. I'm gonna see how well this bakes down. I know what happens when we put it in soups and things, but let's see how it does when it bakes. If it doesn't bake down well enough, then I'll probably take the rest of it and put it into a pan and put it in a little bit of chicken juice. Just kind of boil it down until it softens up. But we're taking care of this all right now. Still made it in time for the food, just there. Welcome in. We are making a Greek-inspired bake here. Chicken, basmati, frozen cut green beans along with spices are two of my daily meals. Yeah, that's not bad. You can have the carbs because you're working out and you're young and you can move. And even at that, you're still eating the relatively healthy stuff. That is perfectly fine. Me, I gotta be a little bit more careful. I am walking about 6,000, 6,500, sometimes 7,000, even 8,000 steps a day. And while I know that people think that the step count is really kind of a goofy way of measuring things, but the thing is that that's 4 miles. Relatively Health Foods shoves all the junk food aside. I mean, you're talking 6,000 steps is about 3.5 miles. At least for my gait and the measurement that the software gave me for that. I'm relatively tall. I'm about 6'2", 6'3" if I've had a lot of sleep. My back is not great. It's been damaged. And probably in about 10 years, I'm going to need some spinal surgery. They're going to have to take a disc out and fix it. But that's all right. If it happens, it happens. So now we're kind of in the Wild West here. Oh man, this has been a really good run here. Yeah, we'll give it another minute or two. It looks like it's starting to come down a little bit. So for those that just came in, we're doing one dish today. And the reason for that is that, as I've been stating, I'm really only eating one time a day. Yeah, I know, that sounds boring, but got a birthday coming up. I'm getting a little older. I gotta watch what I'm doing. Not to mention the stuff that I don't really want to talk about. I'm just letting that finish bake down. Give it just another minute or two here. This has been a little bit more of a calm day, hasn't it? Our music's a little quiet. Just as a reference, since we've got some bodybuilders here. Thank you, Jindal. Okay, wow, let's get the marshmallows. Yeah, just for reference, I'm 6'2", and now I'm at 245, 244 pounds, somewhere in that range. When I started cutting back so much, it was about the second week of September. I was at 267, and it was still climbing. I've lost about 20, 22 pounds, something like that. And it's not been easy. It's been very, very difficult. I'm a little bit older, so it's harder to burn energy. I've got about 200,000 calories excess to burn now. Being that the standard is that 3,000 calories is 1 pound of fat. So I've still got 200,000 calories to go. But when I started, it was 450,000. So this is a lot of work. Let's see. We'll call that good. Everything's kind of sizzling. Let's see what we got. What's hidden under that gem right there? Yeah, and that's kind of where I am, because those that don't know, well, I know, but for those that don't know, I also had cancer a couple of months ago. So we're trying to kind of keep that from happening again, you know? Oh, looky there. Our chicken is light. Our tomatoes are done, but they're not super squishy. I'm going to mix that down in there a little bit. Look at that. I think we might have a winner there. We've got ourselves a Greek chicken bake, which is probably very tasty from the smell of it. Very light and very well balanced. It looks wonderful. So that is where I've got to stop today. Now I've got a lot of spinach left, that's true. Y'all know that I had a huge box here. What I'm gonna do with this, I'm not gonna waste this. I'm gonna go buy some kale tomorrow. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a maple dressing for that. And I'm gonna add some raisins to it. And we're gonna make a bunch of basically superfood salads to go along with this. Now I will post this, and I will post this recipe as best I can to our Discord so that everybody has access to it. And the superfood salad is already there. If you search for it, I believe it's already there. It is a clone off of another recipe from somewhere else. I'm not going to say who did it, but the recipe is solid and the method is sound. So I'm going to stop here, and we're going to move on, and we're going to see who we can rank today. You'll notice that, and I didn't mention it earlier, but you'll notice that I've added 2 bars here today. I'm going to try pushing just a little bit to get a few more subs going. And I'm also going to push to try and repair a couple of things that I'm using all the time. Now, I'm not asking for anybody to give me anything, but if you'd like to volunteer a little bit, that would be great. I'd also like to thank Fluke for the follow a couple of days ago, and Veneer, the Wolf, thank you so much for the follow about 5 hours ago, and Ernos, thank you so much for the raid as well today. Let's see. We'll head on over here. And Ursa, thank you so much. You've been a very good supporter, and I really appreciate it. I've got all of our backups done on that external drive enclosure that you got for me. And I don't know what you did today, but I'm going to take a look here in a little bit. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Be sure that you're taking care of yourself first, and be sure that everybody else is taking care of themselves first. I'm more concerned about you all than I am about myself, but I am trying my best, and I am working on myself too. Now, after this, I'm probably going to go walking. I've got in about 1,900 steps today. It hadn't been great, but I'm going to try and push for the extra 3,000 here shortly. So, all y'all out there, at the very least, go take a walk. If you can't do anything else, go take a walk. And I will see you all later. We're going to head on out of here. Let me see who I can rate today. You know what? I got a friend of mine who's very, very deaf. You got a 25-minute run today? Well, you're good then. I am more concerned about that than anything else. And I'll tell you why. It's mostly because of blood pressure. My blood pressure is off and on. It goes up and down, as anybody's would. But the problem is that mine can go as high as 175. 175 over 90. It seems like there's a big split in the gap there. There is a big split in the gap there. A lot of it's stress. Stress causes that top number to go up. So I try to run and make sure that the blood flow is better so that it goes down. A lot of times, most of the time when I'm home, on the weekends, things like that, it's 130. It's 130 over 90, 130 over 80, which is relatively normal. It's a little bit elevated, but it's normal. I'm losing this weight to try and get that down. I'm losing this weight because I want to live longer. I'm losing this weight because it's causing pain. So I don't want you all to suffer that. I want you all to do better. Don't let that get up on you, okay? All right. Now, as for rating, let's see. I got a friend of mine who is doing a live fursuit stream at the moment. Now, you may or may not agree with what they're doing. They're trying to do a charity race right now, and that's fine. But I will ask you to just hold on for the raid for a minute, and you can leave right after that if you want to. But we're going to head on over there for a raid. Let's see. I want to make sure I get the whole name right. I do fully support them. They're doing a very good job. There's no reason to argue with people about who they are. There we go. All right. We're going to go say hi to Drinwin. Drinwin's doing a charity stream right now. As for a raid message, here we go. You're welcome to cut and paste this in chat. If you have my emotes, use them. If you don't, that's fine. Use whatever you got. See, even I do it to make sure I've got a copy. All right, here we go. We are going to head over to Drinwin. We're going to say hi. Y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend. If you can help, please do. If you don't want to, that's fine. There's nobody judging you over that. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a great night. Bye now.